Hey guys, I thought I would pop on here and go live this Saturday morning. My name is Irene Mahoney. I'm a certified independent health coach with Optavia. And I was just reading in my health book, my, my life book by Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson, Element 16, dealing with addictive food, and it's just so powerful. And I just wanted to pop on here and share this with you. I know every week I check in with my clients and I ask them, like, how are you doing in your life book? And a lot of them, finding time for themselves to get into the life book and make sure that they're seeing what's going on in their life book is something that, some of them struggle with. And so I thought, well, maybe it'll be a little easier for them if I kind of pop on here and go live and talk about some of the elements. So every now and then I like to pop onto my YouTube channel and just kind of talk about the elements. So if you're working on elements in your life book, pop in the chat. What element are you working on? It's a self-paced program. There's no rush to get through it. I will say, like, make the life book yours. Write in it. Give yourself permission to write in it. It's your life book. Go ahead. And edit it. What you did a couple months ago might not be true anymore for you. So get in there and make changes when things change. Because I know I've been on this journey now for a while. I started in 2019, and I lost 60 pounds in about 7 or 8 months there. They like you to say results not typical, but then I kept at it, and I've kept the weight off for almost 2 years. So, where I was in 2019 is not where I am now, but I still go back to the life book. All right, let's check out element 16, dealing with addictive food, because it's really just kind of like hitting me. And it says we're going to explore the danger of addictive food. We're going to identify your personal susceptibility to these addictive foods and reinforce the importance of using the portion control plate system. All right, so those are our objectives we're going to try to hit while we look at this. And what I love about Dr. A is he has all the science behind everything. And so he starts off by reminding us that, like, as we evolved, finding fruit and vegetables that tasted sweet were highly advantageous for us. So we have evolved to kind of look for those flavors. But today our society is saturated with unhealthy, ultra processed food. And every time we turn on the television, we have all these advertisements that we need soda, and we need snacks, and we need fast food, and we need it now, and we need it bigger. And it's so difficult for some of us are so triggered by that to need to want some of that food, because it's delicious and it's quick and it's cheap. And we just have to stop, challenge, choose, and be like, I don't actually need that at all. And so it just talks about the fact that refined sugar and refined flour, and it's everywhere. We think about it as being in breads and rolls and stuff, but it's also, in cereals and crackers and pizza dough and cookies and cakes and ice cream. And it's so hard. Like, you just think, like, oh, if I just had that snack, like, then I would feel better. But it turns out, like, when you let yourself have that snack, it's almost like never enough. Like, it gives you like that quick rush of like pleasure, and then you need more to feel that again, which is sort of an addiction, which is why it's sort of talked about like an addictive substance, sugar and flour. So it says, avoid introducing ultra-refined sugar and flour into your diet at all costs. They are kryptonite and cause insatiable hunger and cravings, leading to addiction and loss of control. Drop something in the chat if you've ever felt this way. If you were like, oh, I just need like a bite of ice cream and then I'd feel great. And then before you know it, you ate the entire pint of Ben and Jerry's ice cream. I know I've been there. I pretty much thought the Ben and Jerry's ice cream was a single serving. Um, guess what? It's really not. It has like enough fat and calories for like the whole day. It's so scary to think how much of that I could eat in one day. And we have alternatives. That's what I love about our program. You know, if you are craving something sweet, we have a lot of good options that have the proteins and the carbohydrates balanced out for you, and you can just choose a fueling, right? So our fuelings are packaged, but they're packaged for convenience. They're not full of artificial stuff, which is just really great. Like, it just makes it so easy, you know. Just grab the chocolate chip bar and go. Um, it says the second problem with refined sugar and flours is that they light up the brain just like cocaine and heroin, right? Dr. A's Habits of Health um, talks about if you get put into an MRI machine designed to show areas of the brain that are activated after consuming sugar or refined flour, the subject's pleasure and reward center light up like a firework display. The hyperactive areas known as the nucleus accumbens release large amounts of dopamine, which creates a pleasurable feeling and leads to the desire for more, right? Once we give in and we let ourselves have those sugary snacks, we're never satisfied. I don't know how many times we have to go through this loop before we start to really see it. You're not satisfied. You don't just want a bite. You want the whole thing. Or at least that's for me, right? I can only speak for myself. And it talks about the fact that, you know, the more you give in to this craving and the more you eat the sugar, the less the pleasurable response is, and you have to eat more and more to get the same pleasurable response. And again, they make this connection between, you know, highly addictive drugs and highly addictive sugar. And it's just like, I don't know, eye-opening. I never really thought of it like that. They say in people who are more susceptible to being addicted to sugar and white flour, it can create a state of lifelessness, down, or even depressed feelings with the lack of energy between sugar rushes. So when you're between your sugar snacks, you're actually like feeling bad. You're feeling depressed. And I know many of my clients, when I check in on them, talk about feeling better, having mental clarity when they're eating healthy, when they're eating the fuelings that have balanced the proteins with the carbohydrates. And I'm just like looking at this and I'm wondering, like, wow, I wonder if you're not having those depressed feelings that we used to have when we were eating the high sugar, high flour foods. And I just thought that was amazing. Um, and it talks about, you know, not everybody is the same susceptibility to this. And I feel like, you know those friends that can have one bite of cake and they're fine. And you know those friends that really they could take or leave the ice cream, whatever. And I've always been like, oh my God, that's not me. Like, if there's ice cream in the house, it's like, Irene, you should eat me. And so they talked about scientific studies with rats, and they had three different groups. Some of them were highly susceptible to the sugary snacks. Some of them were moderately susceptible, and some of them were low susceptible. And trying to figure out where you are. If you got your life book, it's a great time to grab it, because we're going to take the little quiz in the middle of the life book here. So let's see, where are you? Are you highly susceptible? Are you moderately susceptible? Or are you low susceptible? Chances are pretty good, if you're like me, you're high susceptible. So it says on the little quiz, I find it difficult to control how much I eat. Is that rarely? Is that occasionally? Or is that daily? I'll say now that I've been on program for a while, it's rarely. But before I was on program, once I started eating in the morning, I was hungry all day. And I could find like I never really felt full, and figuring out that when I stopped eating all the sugar was when I started to actually feel full. And there were times when I'd be like, oh my God, I'm not even hungry. I'd like walk into an event where food was everywhere and I'd be like, whatever. And before I got healthy, and there's many different ways to get healthy, but before I got healthy, I just was always hungry. I could eat every single snack put in front of me. Hey, Jen, welcome to my live. Oh, popcorn, absolutely. It's just straight up carbs. And so, yeah, I think that the whole big bag of popcorn is a single serving. And so I have to say no to letting the popcorn be in my house. So I can totally relate to the popcorn comment. Um, Two, I crash in the afternoon and have trouble waking up in the morning, right? Do you come home from work and you think, God, I just want to order a whole pizza and I just want to sit on the couch and watch TV? Are you rarely there, occasionally there, or daily there? And again, if you've been on program for a while, some of you can make the connection between how you were pre-program and how you are now. And for those of you that are thinking about joining this program of Optavia, I can say, like, I don't have trouble waking up in the morning. Like, I sleep better because I have better healthy habits. And I do still have like a little mental, like when I get home in the afternoon, I just want to eat constantly. But I think that's just overcoming 45 years of bad habits. And again, working on the mindset, getting into this life book and really, really, really changing my habits, because I'm not physically hungry. I'm just emotionally like, oh, school is over and I deserve a reward. Like, no, you're not hungry. Go do something, which is why I do better when the weather is better and I go out for a walk or something. 3, I have cravings for specific foods. Oh, this one still gets me, right? Like, oh, I need a pizza. Oh, I need a taco, right? And what I love about our program is that we have a community. And if you need a pizza, then we can teach you how to make cauliflower pizza. And if you need a taco, we can teach you how to make mini bell pepper nacho tacos. And we can hit those cravings for you in a healthier way. But were you there rarely, occasionally, or daily, right? Again, trying to look at how susceptible you are to these addictive foods. I suffer from moodiness, headaches, or fogginess, right? Again, rarely, occasionally, or daily. Again, I have so many clients who tell me, like, oh, after being on program for 2 weeks, I just have such mental clarity. I don't have that fogginess that you get when your diet is chock full of refined sugar. When I only eat a moderate amount of food, I am not satisfied. How many of you have tried other diets where, like, you eat the little salad and you're like, that's great, but now I'm starving? Right? Is it rarely, is it occasionally, or daily? And then I found this program, and, like, my little snacks that I eat 6 times a day, they are filling. I'm not as hungry anymore. But I do remember, oh, like, oh, you want me to eat this boiled egg and I'm going to be like full? But mentally, like, ooh, I just wasn't there and I didn't have the support to know, like, I am there. Let's see. 6, I feel guilty after eating, rarely, occasionally, daily. How many of you've been on a diet for so long and you just feel like you're doing something wrong, that you get like hit with this guilt hit at the end? Oh, it's the worst, right? Um, oh God, we've just been like, you should have willpower, but if you've read it in the life book, like, you're gonna run out of willpower, and you're gonna need a community, and you're gonna need other things, and you don't have to feel guilty. But I definitely have been there where, the binge eat hits, and then you feel guilty, and then what's that make you want to do? Eat more, because now you're sad because you binged ate. Oh goodness, the cycle. All right, 7, I spend a considerable amount of time thinking about food, rarely, occasionally, daily. Oof, that's a tough one. 8, I eat even when I'm not hungry because I crave the food. So you're physically full, but the food is in front of you and you think, oh, I bet that would just be good, right? I've definitely been guilty of that. Less on program, more pre-program. I eat large amounts of food and feel powerless to stop. Okay. Rarely, occasionally, or daily. How many of you think, like, oh, like this whole thing, if you've gone to a restaurant, the serving sizes are often enormous. You don't have to eat it all, right? But before program, I would think, like, oh, I have to clean my whole plate. Now like you can eat the right amount and you can take the leftovers home and eat it the next day. I crave carbohydrates like pizza, bread, white rice, and dessert, rarely, occasionally, or daily. Oh my God, is that me? Like, I craved carbohydrates like constantly. And now, like you see, because it lights up the pleasure center, it is a little bit addictive. And so you just want to go back to it. And what I love about our program is a lot of our fuelings are foods that you really haven't let yourself eat. We've got chocolate protein bars, we've got chocolate shakes. And so if you've been trying low carb, um, you get to put them back in, but now in a healthier version. And I find that they're delicious, right? Anybody else out there? Like, I find that our fuelings are just good enough that I no longer have to crave, oh, I need chocolate. Oh, I eat chocolate 3 times a day. If I want, I can eat chocolate 5 times a day, and sometimes I do. So I do love that about our program. If on the little 10-question quiz, you scored 6 of them daily, then you're highly susceptible to these addictive foods. And I know before program I was, and I know that means I got 45 years of trying to overcome that addiction and fight those habits that have just been so ingrained. I love this quote that Dr. A put in the book here. It says, the whole idea is that through the habits of healthy eating, you will make good choices and avoid the need for willpower. You're not just not motivated. You're not just not focused. It's not possible to have that much willpower. It's really not possible to do it by yourself, right? It's so much easier if you get a health coach, if you get a community, if you lean in, ask for help when you need it, see what other people did to get through the obstacles that you're going to hit. We all hit them. Every day, you got to make a conscious decision to stay healthy, right? It's not like you're like, oh, tra la la, I hit my goal weight. And now, like, oh, I just don't like junk food anymore. No, every day we all have to make a conscious decision to not eat the addictive foods and keep making the healthy decisions, to eat the healthy food, right? And we need help because you will run out of willpower. I just thought that was so amazing. And it even ends up the chapter with what I was talking about the other day, right? A call out to your coach can also be helpful if you are having one of those weak moments, and use the Habits of Health app daily to support you, right? Lean into your community, lean into your health coach, right? They had a program before Optavia and it didn't have a health coach, and what they found was it wasn't as successful, right? I think I just marked up one last part here that I wanted to talk to you about. It basically says, like, okay, up until this point, up until this element, we've been talking about the food, and now it's time to start talking about healthy motion. I just want to remind you, it does say we don't have to exercise in the first couple of weeks of the 5-in-1. And but then we need to start adding some motion. So what I'm going to look at next is element 17. How do you become a perpetual motion machine? Right, adding that element of motion back into your day. And Dr. A has this fabulous thing that he calls like NEAT, and it is not going to the gym. It is just remembering to add more conscious decisions of being active, of not sitting all day long, of parking further away, of taking the stairs instead of the elevator. And so that's what I'm going to dive into next. Element 17. And so the next time you see me pop on here live, hopefully I have something to talk about there. Hopefully this kind of is a nice little push for you to get into your life book, because this is the mental work that we have to do. This is the tool that we need to actually maintain our transformation. Our fuelings are fantastic, and they will definitely help you lose the weight and get to your goal weight, but it is definitely the life book that is going to help us keep the weight off. So That's my live for today. If any of you are looking for a health coach, I'd love to help you out. If you have questions about the program that I coach, I'd love to share some answers with you. I'll drop my email in the comments down below, iemahoney@yahoo.com. Reach out to me, and I'll see you soon. Bye, Jen.